Hi everyone, it's Anne from Curious Moon Design. Join me today if you want to make these floppy napkins and tissue paper into these gorgeous pages with a translucent look to them, which are very sturdy, and pockets just from tissue paper, envelopes, and more pages to go in your journal, just to make added interest, using napkins, tissue paper and cereal box paper. Now for this project I'm going to use this paper. I had flowers wrapped in for Mother's Day for my darling daughter. I've separated this bit. I'm going to use that in a journal or another project. But this is going to be very useful, along with a cereal packet. So when you finish your cereal, sometimes people put them in tubs, don't they? You can use this part of the cereal packet. So I'm just going to gather a few other things. I need some PVA glue, a brush and some napkins. And if you remember from my clearing of my craft room, I've got these stashed in a nice tin, so I've got quite a few to go through. So I'm going to take some time to pick out the ones I want, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to attach them to the paper. Okay, I've picked these out. As it's spring, I thought it'd be quite nice to have some floral designs. This one is going to be quite nice if I use the paper in a journal at the bottom of a page. So I'm probably cut that one in half. And then I've got some more florals here, there, and these my friend Marilyn bought me. I think they're tissue paper. I'm going to take one of those out and see if that will work as well. Now with the napkins, I'm sure you all know the little trick that you have to take the backing paper off, because although they're very thin, napkins come in 2 or 3 layers. So I use a little bit of sellotape and pull that off. They come off very easily. And obviously you can use that piece for something else. So I'll fold that up and put it away. Now some of them come in 3s, and the only way to tell is to do this little trick. But I think this is, yes, this is another layer on here. Quite tricky sometimes to, I thought it looked a bit thick, so there were 3 layers on this one. Because it had quite a sort of moulded edge, it was quite difficult to remove. But the sellotape trick got there in the end. There we are. And you can see it's quite thin now. So that's going to be ideal. And then I'll get prepared to stick them to the paper. I have to say it's a very satisfying feeling taking the backing papers off. Just lovely playing with paper, isn't it? See you back in a minute when I'm ready to glue them onto the paper. So after separating all my napkins, and I also found some tissue paper which I'm going to use, and also some pattern pieces which I thought would look rather lovely. So first of all, with the cereal packet, just got to open it up so that it's nice and flat. Which is very straightforward. And it doesn't matter which side you use. Move those away. And I'm just going to put a good layer of PVA glue all over the paper. Probably need a bit more than that. And then with the brush, just going to make sure it's evenly spaced out and sticky. I'm just going to do that once more, just so that I know I've got it all covered. And this is such a relaxing thing to do. And it's a very wet morning out, so what better time to be in the craft room. Can't do any jobs in the garden today. Well, I could if I wanted to get soaked, but so I think that's sticky enough. Time will tell. Put that down there. Right, I'll try one of the napkins. Now my bottom edge is going to come off here, so I don't really want that. I don't want to miss out on all those lovely flowers. So I'm going to cut out that bit of white. So that's the lovely thing about crafting, we can work it out as we go along. Now, I don't have to be too precise about this. And then what I can do is put another layer over the top just to seal it. And this PVA glue will just be clear when it dries. And I think what this does is allows you to use these very fine napkins and tissue paper in projects that they wouldn't really stand up to, like even a page in a journal. You couldn't really just put a napkin in because over time it would deteriorate, but putting it on this backing paper firms it up and it gives it a sort of a translucent look to it. So I'll carry on doing that and then I'll allow it to dry. Probably take a few hours, and then when it's getting dry I'll put it under some books just to firm it up. And then I'll come back and show you what I'm going to do with them. Okay, so these have dried nicely. It's been a little while actually that I've done them. On some of the pages I put the backing paper on. So this one I flipped, and so it's got the paper both sides, and with this lovely napkin I put this paper on the other side, so I've got those I can use. This one has got sort of postmarks and letter stamps on there. This one was the napkin I thought I would use as a page, and I've got some of my journals here. This one's more botanical, so I think, although I've sewn all these pages in, this would work better if you had them loosely fitted in. You could add a page, but I thought I could stick one of these in just to have a flip out. So I need to cut that to size. I want to keep I'll be able to keep one half. I might cut it in half and have a smaller page, and then I've got two, or I could flip it and stick that to the other side, but I rather like the translucent look on the other side. It's rather nice. So I think I'll cut them in half, and then I'll be able to put them into my journal here. So I've made, with one of them I've made a little envelope, and I've got to do some additions to that, so that was just folding and gluing. I'm probably going to put something inside there and ink up the edges, maybe put a stamp on there. but I've got lots to play with. So I can make envelopes, I can make pages with them. They have a lovely feel about them. So that was really useful, sticking these very delicate pieces of paper onto this cereal paper and, as I say, this floral paper. It's made them much more usable. So I'm going to cut this one up. I might cut it sort of irregularly, that would be quite a nice look. And I'll come back and show you how I'm going to add that to the journal. So I've cut this one out, and as you can see, it's rather lovely. I've cut around the flowers here so they really stand out. I think that would make a lovely page in a journal. I can't put it in this one because I've already sewn this one together, but I've got others I'm making at the moment, and so what I will do is sew it in rather like that. And as you can see, there's a lovely translucent look to the inside, which you could stick things onto. And then the other page, you could put a page in between that, so it would look rather like that. You could have several pages in between it. And it's, as I say, it's made a very flimsy piece of napkin into quite a sturdy, durable page there. So I'm going to put that one by for my next journal. The other one I'm going to make into a page is this one that I've stuck down. This is something I bought. I'm going to cut it to a A5 or A4 size, and I've got little bits left over if I want, and that will make another page in my next journal. It's got such a lovely feel to it, and a lovely crinkly noise, of course. This one that I've got left over, I could make a pocket from it. It'd be nice to have a little pocket in the journal. If I cut it down, I could stitch that in actually, because it's, as I say, it's quite tough now, which I couldn't do with just a napkin. I couldn't stitch that in, it would just tear. And the same with this one, or I could have a border on a page and stitch it in. So I think you'll agree, quite a useful thing to do for all your very flimsy tissue paper, to stick it to one of these cereal bags, or if you've got any florist paper. It just makes this more useful. Well, I hope you found that useful. Just a quick pop on today, and I hope you join me again for some more crafting with fabric and paper. Bye for now everyone. Enjoy your crafting.